celebrate, remember. Thank you for saying amen over here. Thank you, Mr. Eli. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Today we set aside to remember those who had a great impact on our lives. A day we show appreciation to the one who kissed our boo-boos away, the one who listened to us when we had our first breakup with our first boyfriend or girlfriend, and to the one who comforted us in ways that quite obviously Dad could not. We recognize and remember moms. Oh, we remember Mom for many different things. We remember what Mom would tell us when we were in trouble. Ever hear this? Wait until your dad gets home, even though Mom done brought the raft down. Now we had to wait for Dad, and made it even worse. We remember that, don't we? Remember how Mom seemed to always have the right words to say when we felt like we were down, or had to make a decision, or had to be comforted. Mom seemed to always have those words to say. And as we remember this day, a day set aside to remember moms, I want to ask you a question. What makes a mom worthy of remembrance? And the answer is found, ironically, Stephanie, in the life of Mary. So both the scriptures come today from two instances in Mary's life where we see what made her worthy to be a mom. The first was in Mark chapter 1, verses 26 through 45. If you would read that with me. Mark chapter 1, verses 26 through 45. Then I'll flip over to John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. Mark chapter 1, verses 26 through 45. It's a story we all know so well because we hear it and read it during Christmas time. In the 6th month of Elizabeth's pregnancy, God sent the angel Gabriel to Nazareth, a town in Galilee, to a virgin pledged to be married to a man named Joseph, a descendant of David. The virgin's name was Mary. The angel went to her and said, "Greetings, you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you." Mary was greatly troubled at his words and wondered what kind of greeting this way might be. But the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus. He will be great and be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord God will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over Jacob's descendants forever. His kingdom will never end." "How will this be?" Mary asked the angel. "Since I am a virgin." The angel answered, "The Holy Spirit will come on you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. So the Holy One to be born will be called the Son of God. Even Elizabeth, your relative, is going to have a child in her old age, and she who was said to be unable to conceive is in her 6th month. For no word from God will ever fail." "I am the Lord's servant," Mary answered. "May your word be to me to be fulfilled." Then the angel left her. At that time, Mary got ready and hurried to a town in the hill country of Judea, where she entered Zechariah's home and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the baby leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. In a loud voice she exclaimed, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the child that you will bear. But why am I so favored that the mother of my Lord should come to me? As soon as the sound of your greeting reached my ears, the baby in my womb leaped for joy. Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord will fulfill his promises in her." And look over at John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. On the 3rd day, a wedding took place at Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no more wine." "Woman, why do you involve me?" Jesus replied. "My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby stood 6 stone water jars, the kind used by the Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." They did so, and the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. Then he called the bridegroom aside and said, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then when the cheaper wine after the guests had gone too much to drink. But you have saved the best for last till now." What Jesus did here in Cana of Galilee was the first of signs through which he would reveal his glory, and his disciples believed in him. So what makes Mary a mother to be remembered, worthy to be remembered, and what from these two instances in her life of Jesus shows how mothers to be remembered and why? Well, the first point is this: a mother to remember is one who has visions for her children. Although it was hard for Mary to understand or be told she was going to be pregnant and she was going to have a child and it wasn't going to come the normal way, one thing she did receive we cannot neglect. God's angel told her directly the vision for her child. Your child is going to be named Jesus. If you look over in Matthew chapter 1, means he will save his people from his sins. The vision is he's going to save his people from his sins, Mary. The vision is, Mary, your son is the Son of God. God's own son is going to come down to you. Mary, the vision for your child is he is going to sit on the throne of David. And his kingdom he will start will never end. He will rule over Jacob's descendants forever. How easy would it be, mothers, for God to come to you before you was even ever pregnant and said, you're going to have a child, he's going to be a son, so you know what the sex is. This is what he's going to be, and by the way, this is what he's going to do. This is his life plan. This is his life goal. This is his journey. How easy would it be to raise that child? It would be kind of easy, wouldn't it? Would it mothers, I'm not going to respond from the mothers here. Would it moms? Would it be a little bit easier to raise the children if God told you exactly what the vision for that child is going to be? But you know how we usually get visions, moms, for your child? One of a couple ways. First is through name giving. Do you know all names have a meaning? It means something. When we raised and named our firstborn, which is sitting right there next to my wife, Carrie, my wife came up and named Carrie Amanda. Carrie, because we were going to name it after my grandmother, and then Amanda, because my wife really liked the name. But you know what Carrie Amanda means? And tell me if it didn't kind of self-fulfill. Carrie Amanda meant loving, one who is worthy of love and pleasant. And you may not agree with that. I'm her father, and I think she's very worthy of love and very pleasant. And I think her name fulfilled that. And I think we do that sometimes. We give our children names, maybe realizing, maybe not realizing what that name means, but something amazing happens. Does that child not most of the time grow into what that name means? And that's a vision for that child. That's one way to cast a vision for the child. But more than likely, the way we cast a vision for our children is, which is what we should be doing, observing what that child is doing. What is the strengths of that child? What are the weaknesses of that child? How does that child interact with others? What is that child doing in his or her spare time? How does he or she relate to other people? And there we begin to cast a vision and come up with a vision where we see that child going. I always see my daughter as one who liked to be around people. And she always talked about, even from a young age, I either want to be a nurse or I want to be a teacher. And of course, we kind of let her go to that vision, kind of encouraged her to that vision, and lo and behold, she became a nurse. Because a mother, really remember, takes seriously raising her children to say, what does God want this child to be? What is that vision? Oh, wouldn't it be so easy if God gave us the vision? Here it is on paper. Here's what your child's going to be. Just follow A, B, C, D, and E. But it's not always that easy, is it? It's usually because we give them a name and it kind of sets a course for them. Or as we observe as we're raising them, that is the way they become in their vision in their life. So mother worthy to remember, first of all, she has a vision for her children. It is for the life of her children. Sometimes it comes directly from God. Sometimes we have to figure it out, ladies. But then we realize what it is. Once we obtain it, we help that child down that road toward that vision. Did Mary do that? Mary had the vision straightforward. Mary had it down. This is what your son is going to do. This is where he's from. This is where he's going. We even see it even more affirmed when she goes to the priest there to have Jesus consecrated, and the priest and the prophetess there both tell her he's going to do great things, but one thing he's going to do, mother, he's going to break your heart. Things are going to happen to him that's going to pierce your heart. I'm sure Mary didn't want to hear that. I'm sure she didn't fully realize what was going to happen then, but that was part of the vision that she had to grab a hold of from God. So a mother who is worthy to remember is one who casts a vision, has a vision for her children. What is God calling them to be? But also a mother who is worthy to remember is one who shares her vision for her children. What did Mary do as soon as she found out she was pregnant and what the vision was for Jesus? Where did she go? She went to her cousin, Elizabeth, and she went there. And it's interesting that as soon as Mary walks in the door, she has not said a word to Elizabeth. Elizabeth is doing all the talking. What does Elizabeth say? Greetings, you, my cousin. You're favored by God. Greetings, you, my cousin. You have the Lord in you. You have the Lord's Son in you. What gives me? What have I done that's so good for you to come? Elizabeth grabbed the vision from the Holy Spirit, and Mary's not even said a word. Elizabeth knows the vision of Mary's child, and Mary has not even opened her mouth. That doesn't always happen to us. We like to cast a vision of our children. What do, ladies? We like to talk about it, right? Well, I see my child this way, and I see my child that way. First of all, we start sharing it with our relatives, right? You may even go to your own mom. Mom, I think so-and-so is on a vision to be this. I see my child so-and-so becoming this. I think God's calling my child to do this. I think my child's calling it to do that. And a mother who has done that with her own children should be well-attuned enough to kind of help that other mother guide down that path. We share it with friends, right? I think, you ever been out there in a park? That's probably stereotypical on TV, but I've never seen it in real life. But, you know, two newborn mothers are side by side, or say the kids are maybe 1 or 2 years old. They get into a contest. You know how it goes. The day my child said the first word, he said, Dad. Really? The day my child did math, he knew what 1 plus 1 was. And before it's over, one of them has, discovered the law of relativity that Einstein discovered. You know what I'm talking about, right? This goes on and on and on and on. No, that's not vision. Vision is sharing, this is what I really think my child will be. And really, if the family members or friends are attuned with that mother, would they not affirm that? With that, I see that in your child, or I don't see that in your child. Have you ever been with someone who is raising their children, and you're real good friends with the parents, and you start seeing things in that child, and things start popping in your head? I can see that child doing this. I can see that child doing that. Have you ever experienced that, ladies? Have you ever experienced it? Some of you more mature ladies experienced it, and then realize that vision later on years. You see that child grow up to become exactly what you and his or her mother thought the child was going to do or be. How fulfilling is that to know you was able to see that and share that vision? Is it fulfilling, ladies? Man, you're quiet. Pastor, shut up. We want to go eat. We're waiting for our moms and other moms and friends, but that's okay. That's okay. Is it? Or has nobody ever had that experience? Maybe nobody's had that experience. No? Am I preaching to the choir? Okay. The mother to remember not only has a vision for her children, she shares it with others. Because this vision is so strong, and she somehow knows it came from God, she can't do anything but to tell the whole world to share it because it brings her joy. She's not afraid to share it with whoever will listen, whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be close relatives. She lets her own mom know. She lets the church family know so they can also catch into the vision. She wants everyone to really celebrate how God has given her a child, but also how God is going to use this child. That is why she shares the vision. This right there, because that child has a vision to fulfill God's will and purpose, not the parents' will and purpose. And I think sometimes parents get into the quandary where they want to raise their children the way they want to be, and God is like, no, the child's going to be raised up to be this way. But we have to be really attuned, and mothers have to be really attuned what that vision is for God so they can share it so everybody knows what that vision is. But there's one more point I think here that makes a mother worthy to remember. It's this. A mother to remember is one who affirms the vision for her children. The last part I read you in John 2 is called the wedding at Cana. I don't know if you know anything about Jewish marriages back then. They had a week party. After the husband and wife came together, they had a big party. And it was wine and partying every day for 7 days. About the third day, everybody's just so hungover or whatever, just bring out the cheap stuff. Now, we ain't got to do the expensive wine. But they ran out of wine. And Mary comes to Jesus and says, they're out of wine. And I like his response. Why are you bothering me with this? It's not time to reveal my glory. But I find it ironic because what happens? In that very case where Jesus says it's not time to reveal his glory, he reveals his glory. Because according to the book of John, the Gospel of John, that is the very first miracle Jesus does, is by turning the water into wine. And from then on, it sets the course for him to go and do the mission, what God has called him to do. It's at that point in time he starts doing the miracles. He starts leaving Jerusalem. He starts reaching other people and doing these miracles. And it's right then and there, because his mom prompts him, is it now time for the vision? Is where the vision kicks in, and that's when he starts walking down that road. Because the mom said it's time, even though he may not realize it was time. And mothers, you do affirm the vision in your children. You may do it financially to help them grow to become what they need to become, whether it be college or start a business or whatever. Emotionally, supporting them, listening to them, helping them through the ups and downs of what they're doing in life. Spiritually, through prayer, lifting them up, asking God to keep them strong in the vision where they're going. Encouraging them, listening to them when they're talking about and dealing with their vision and call. Able to give wise counsel when it's sought after. But also, mothers, ability to speak into the lives of your children, even if they don't want to hear it. And that takes a tremendous gift. There's an author named Ilian Jones wrote it one time when he was doing his survey on mothers. He said, on the great biographer Ida Tarver's 80th birthday, someone asked her to name the greatest person she had ever met. She responded, the greatest persons I have ever met are those nobody knows about. Once the New York Times was asked to help a group of club women decide on the 12 greatest women in the United States. After due consideration, the editors replied, the 12 greatest women in the United States are women who have never heard of outside of their own homes. Jones concludes, I asked you, who was greater, Thomas Edison or his mother? When he was a young lad, his teacher sent him home with a note which said, your child is dumb. We can't do anything for him. Miss Edison wrote back, you don't understand my boy. I will teach him myself. And she did. And we see now what had happened. How many inventions and stuff did Thomas Edison invent that we have today? All because a mother had a vision for a child, knew the vision, even though nobody else understood it. She kept him there and encouraged him and taught him and knew that was God's vision for him. And that's what she did, and look what turned out. That is a lesson to us today, mothers. What is a mother to remember? One who has a vision for her children. She shares it with everyone she knows. And she affirms it in every way she can during the life of the child. Let's pray.